This short video will talk you through the supporters exercise, which is one element of the Parents and Carer programme supporting youth anxiety. Now, young people with anxiety problems in their lives and their families can be supported in lots of different ways. In this video, we will explore some of the different roles that supporters can take up, and a chance for you to think about the different people in your life and what role they might take up in supporting you and your child. So there's lots of different ways supporters can assist a young person and their parents and carers, and I'm just going to run through a few of those now. So supporters can reinforce parents and carers' message about the importance of standing up to anxiety, informing the young person about that, but helping you as a parent or carer maintain momentum in working on the anxiety. Supporters can check in about your plans to reduce accommodation and give you support with setbacks or with making plans. Supporters can express understanding to the child about how tough anxiety can be to deal with. They can also show the other side of support, the confidence in the child that they will gradually make progress. Supporters can maintain communication with the child, and when there's a lot of conflict at home, that could be really important when other channels of communication are more limited. Supporters can recognise the efforts the child is making and letting them know they've heard about progress that they've made or effort that they've put in. Supporters can be there for parents and carers when they are managing setbacks. Sometimes the presence of others can actually increase a child's independent functioning and coping. So having a supporter kind of physically present might encourage your child to cope a bit more, to be a bit less dependent on you. Or, for example, where there's conflict or escalating dispute, having others there can sometimes help reduce the conflict and de-escalate the situation. So in terms of things that get in the way of using supporters, a very common one we hear about in this workshop is feeling embarrassed about a child's problems. I've heard that from lots of parents and carers, and obviously there is stigma about mental health, and people might find it much harder to speak about a family member's mental health problems in a different way than if they had an injury or physical health problem. One of the things we have heard about in this workshop from parents and carers is that often when they do choose to tell friends or other family members, actually they do experience quite a bit of support, and it's not as embarrassing and as challenging as they might have expected. Parents might feel concerned that if they tell others, they might attract others' criticism, or that asking for help might feel that you kind of have failed. Again, what we often hear in this programme from parents and carers is actually that when people do know what's been happening for you, they are most of the time kind of very supportive and want to be helpful. There might be parental disagreement about telling others and seeking support from others, and that your child might want privacy. They might feel ashamed of their difficulties and not want others to know. All I would say about that if you want support from others, that is your choice. And I don't think that your child should determine if someone is there for you or not. Parents might fear their child's reaction, or that somehow telling others might be shaming the child. Although in this video you will hear how telling others can be a source of support, can help promote change, and therefore actually reduce the impact of the problem and potential shame associated with it. So the supporters exercise. For this exercise you will need a set of tokens, so a dozen coins, buttons, or pieces of paper the size of a button. And the first thing you're going to do is to place a button that will represent you. Then get the second button, and this is going to represent your child and place it according to how close or distant your child feels at the moment. So you'll be left with 2 buttons in front of you. Next, think of the people in your life and put tokens down for each of them according to how close or distant they feel to you. This could be family, this could be friends, this could be people from your community, neighbours, postman, somebody who works in a shop. It could be somebody that you work with. If you're a member of a club or a religious organisation or other kinds of associations, it could be people from that as well. So put those down. And then the last stage is to think of all the people in your child's life and put down tokens for each of them according to how close or distant they are from your child. And this could be obviously friends and family, but it might be school or support staff, not just teachers, other people at school that your child might have contact with or from their educational placement. It could be a neighbour or a shopkeeper, a religious or club leader, a youth worker, teacher, could even be the lollipop person at a sibling school if that's someone your child has a relationship with. But try and think as broadly as possible. So once you've put down all those tokens, first of all, have a look and think, is there anyone that you've missed out? Is there anyone that you could include but might not be involved in your child's life at the moment? And when you look at the patterns of tokens, are there any changes you would like to make? And when you look around the tokens, think about who knows about your child's difficulties, who knows about the impact it has on you, who might support you and who might support your child. If you've just been listening to me describe the exercise, then perhaps pause the video here and kind of have a go and ask yourself maybe some of those questions. So for the final stage of this exercise, there's an invitation to think about what tasks can different supporters take on. And these tasks, as we described at the beginning of this video, might include extra support or offers of help for you or your child, letting the child know they've heard about progress or letting the child know they've heard about how difficult things are. Spend time with the child, share stories of things they've overcome, offer support to the parents, whether that's with a crisis or with a setback. And where there's violence, supporters can have a role in promoting non-violence. Sometimes supporters actually being present in situations where there's conflict might reduce the chance of violence. Supporters might maintain communication or just offer, to check in with parents about how reducing accommodation plans have gone and things like that. So in the final stage of this exercise, there's an invitation to link each of these tasks with one of the buttons that you've placed around you and your child. So we're coming to the end of this short video, and I hope you've had a chance to explore this exercise, and at the next online session there'll be a chance to share how it's gone, learn from other people's experience and make some plans about how we can all seek support from supporters in our lives.